Even though making nouns plural is a pretty straightforward process in Russian, many beginner students are still unsure how exactly they are supposed to do that. So let's practice making Russian nouns plural today. Most Russian nouns in their plural form will end in y or e. So to make a noun plural, we'll just have to change the ending of a noun to either y or e. That's it. Телефон, телефоны. Билет, билеты. Велосипед, велосипеды. Машина, машины. Песня, песни. Неделя, недели. Ночь, ночи. Пароль, пароли. Pretty straightforward, isn't it? We either add y or e at the end or change the last vowel to either of these letters. Try it on your own. I'm pretty sure you did a great job, and this is what you will do most of the time when making a noun plural in Russian. You'll just make it end in y or e. You might be asking yourself, how do I know when to choose which? To answer that, let's take a look at the Russian vowels. Again, remember that we put them in pairs? Why do we do that? I keep asking the same thing over and over again. The vowels in the left column follow hard consonants, and the vowels in the right column follow soft consonants. If you need to get reintroduced to the idea of hard and soft consonants, just go to this playlist and watch the first couple of videos. Let's take the word телефон. It ends in a hard n. So for the plural form, do we add y, which follows hard consonants, or do we add e, that is supposed to follow soft consonants? Right, for the word телефон, that ends in a hard n, we add y, that follows hard consonants. Телефон, телефоны. Now let's take the word гитара. The last a is following the hard r. So we're most likely to change it to what? Y or e? Right, we stick to the hard y. Гитара, гитары. And what about the word неделя? The last ya indicates that the preceding consonant is soft, l. So for the plural form, do we add y or e? Right, in this case, we'll go with the soft e, because we want to keep l soft. Неделя, недели. Same with песня. We also add e, the vowel that follows soft consonants, because of the soft ñ. Песня, песни. If a noun ends in a vowel from the left column, we'll be adding y for its plural form. We want to stay in the same column of vowels. And if a noun ends in a vowel from the right column, we'll choose E for its plural form because, again, we want to stay in the same column of vowels. And by the way, it applies to changing words according to cases as well. In general, we want to keep hard consonants hard and soft consonants soft. I hope it's making sense. Now let's look at the word parol. It ends in a soft sign. The gender doesn't matter in this case, but this word is masculine. Soft sign makes consonants soft. So for the plural form, do we add I that follows hard consonants or E that follows soft consonants? Right, we'll go with E because we want to keep L soft. Parol, paroli. Now let's take a look at the words собака и книга. You would think that in the plural form they should end in I, right? But there is a but. Try to say собаки, книги. It's not that easy, right? To pronounce g, k, h, our throat has to be narrow. Try it. G, k, h. And to say I, our throat, on the opposite, has to be wide. Remember? Our uvula goes up and the root of our tongue goes down. I. While for E, our throat is narrow. Our uvula is close to our tongue. E. So why would we make it hard for ourselves and go narrow throat to wide throat when we can go narrow throat to narrow throat, right? That's why after g, k, h, we add E instead of I. Собака, собаки. Книга, книги. Consider it an exception. We say ги, ки, хи, and never g, k, h. It's just too hard to pronounce. The consonants zh, sh, ch, sh are also an exception, and we always add E after them and never I. This is just the rule that exists in the Russian language. You're supposed to only write E and never I after these letters. Though this rule doesn't affect the pronunciation in any way, zh and sh always sound hard. No matter what is written after them, we'll hear a hard vowel after them. Zh, sh. And ch and sh are always soft, and we only hear soft vowels after them, regardless of what vowel is written. So I would say the main thing that you want to remember is that you use E after g, k, h. Gi, ki, hi. You will never see I after these three letters. Be aware that the stress in the plural form sometimes jumps to the ending, like in these words, for instance. Кот, коты. Час, часы. Стол, столы. Раз, разы. Паук, пауки. Дождь, дожди. Нож, ножи. Гараж, гаражи. Карандаш, карандаши. Ключ, ключи. Мяч, мячи. Плащ, плащи. It doesn't happen too often, but sometimes it does. And you might notice a certain pattern too. It usually happens to the words with the last or the only syllable stressed. Another thing that you might encounter is a vowel reduction. День, дни. Парень, парни. Палец, пальцы. A vowel in such words just went away naturally over time, just because otherwise the word felt too long and inconvenient to pronounce. A couple of things need to be added to what we already said. While most plural nouns end in I or I, there are still some that end in a or ya. It's usually neuter nouns and also some masculine nouns. You'll just have to remember them, memorize. Дом, дома. Город, города. Цвет, цвета. Слово, слова. Место, места. Блюдо, блюда. Лицо, лица. Яйцо, яйца. Письмо, письма. Notice that the stress in such words often jumps. And again, when making these nouns plural, we're staying in the same column of vowels, sticking to the hard vowels in this case, vowels from the left column. I mean, you cannot say hard or soft vowels because vowels cannot be hard or soft themselves. They just indicate how to read the preceding consonant as hard or as soft. We're just saying this for convenience, just keep it in mind. On the other hand, neuter nouns that end in ye, the vowel from the right column, in their plural forms will change the ending to ya. Makes sense, right? We're staying in the soft column of vowels. This way, we're keeping soft consonants soft. For instance, море, моря, поле, поля. Try it on your own. Сообщение, сообщения. Приложение, приложения. Предложение, предложения. Упражнение, упражнения. Платье, платья. Варенье, варенья. And these words, even though they end in ye in their singular form, will change it to a in their plural form. Сердце, сердца. Полотенце, полотенца. This is because there is a rule that after ц we can only write a and never ya. Also, after ц, we can only write ye and not e. But regardless of that, ц is one of those three consonants that always sound hard, meaning no matter what vowel is written after it, you'll always hear a vowel from the left column, because ц just cannot sound soft. Are you still with me? Certain words just have particular plural forms altogether, like друг, друзья, брат, братья, стул, стулья. And these two words just sound completely different in their plural form. Make sure to remember them. Человек, люди, ребенок, дети, человек, люди, ребенок, дети. And be aware that some words might look plural because they end in E, but they're singular. Words like taxi, jacuzzi, smoothie, not only they don't change their endings in their plural form, they don't change them at all. They don't decline. They sound the same in all the cases. The same with these words. Пальто, метро, кафе, кофе, кино, pianino, шоссе. Neither they change their endings in the plural form, nor they decline. On the other hand, some words do decline according to cases, but you still cannot make them plural. These are usually the words like молоко, соль, мед, морковь, картофель, лук, чеснок, одежда, посуда, добро, веселье, любовь, детство, молодость, старость, and others. You get the idea. And also keep in mind that the way we use words in English and in Russian, in the plural or in the singular form, does not always correspond. For instance, while in English we can only say he gave me good advice, in Russian we can say an advice, two advices, many advices. Он дал мне хороший совет. Это хорошие советы. 2 совета. 5 советов. Много советов. In Russian, the word совет, advice, can be both singular and plural. Knowledge can also be both singular and plural. Знание, знания. For instance, the famous phrase knowledge is power in Russian will sound as знания – сила. Знания is plural. When in English you say, that's great news, in Russian it may sound as both singular or plural. Отличная новость or отличные новости. At the same time, the words clothes, shoes, dishes, stairs sound in Russian as одежда, обувь, посуда, лестница. They are used in the singular form in Russian. And on the opposite, while in English we say money and hair, in Russian it would sound as monies and hairs. Деньги – money, волосы – hair, as well as часы – a watch, духи – perfume. These words in Russian are plural. The word ножницы – scissors – in Russian, just like in English, is always plural. I would say these are the most common examples of such inconsistencies between Russian and English. But of course, there are many more. Just be aware of them. And now, my favorite part. Today in Russian, of course, there are a lot of words adopted from English and other languages. Words like jeans or chips, AirPods, leggings, maracas. The funny part is that in English or Spanish, to make a word plural, you add s. So these words are plural, right? But there is a catch. In Russian, words that end in a consonant, including s, are usually masculine. So an ear of a Russian speaker perceives such words as singular masculine, not as plural. And to make them sound plural, what do? We add y on top of already plural form. We say джинсы, AirPods, чипсы, памперсы, леггинсы, бутсы, кроксы, маракасы. So we get a double plural form, plural on top of plural. And these words also decline in Russian, the usual way. They change their endings according to cases. The only word that avoided the double plural form is shorts. In Russian, it sounds as shorty. I hope you've enjoyed today's lesson, and I hope you were able to learn something new. The main takeaway from this class is to make a noun plural in Russian, most of the time you'll just need to put y or i at the end. At the same time, some nouns will end in a or ya in their plural form, and you'll just have to remember those. Some nouns have a particular plural form altogether. You gotta remember them as well. And there are nouns that are only used in the plural form or nouns that are only used in the singular form. And many times, the way we use these words in English and in Russian is different. Plural nouns in English might be used as only singular nouns in Russian, and the other way around. How about you now check your understanding? I'll give you words in their singular form, and you'll try and guess what their plural form will be. Here you go. Great! I hope it felt empowering. Let me know in the comments how many words you guessed right. That'll be it for today, and see you again soon. До скорого! Пока!